When is Danny going to learn? Says Will. Set pieces again. We just can't get playoffs if we can't defend simple situations. Have a look at it. Not that you'll want to see that again, of course, but another set piece for this team to get their teeth into. Why can't Sheffield Wednesday defend set pieces? Also coming up on the show this week, we're talking about the transfer window. What are our final reflections on it? It's not going to be a nice conversation, but we're going to have it. And finally, to conclude our worst ever Sheffield Wednesday 11 we've been building, who is our worst ever Sheffield Wednesday manager? And with Valentine's Day coming up just around the corner, we're asking Matt and Tom how they first fell in love with Sheffield Wednesday. Thank you very much for joining us. Glyn is away this week, but we have Finn in place. How are you doing, Finn? Welcome to the show.
I'm all good, mate. You?
I'm doing all right, thank you. I'm sorry to be discussing a bit of a negative one this week following that West Bromwich. And if you were, of course, watching this after the midweek games and wondering why they're only talking about a game at the weekend, just skip ahead 4 minutes while we digest the West Brom setup, shall we? Right, Matt, why can't Danny coach set pieces?
Who knows, Mark? We've been talking about this all season in terms of our inability to defend set pieces effectively. We don't do anything different to any other side really in the league in terms of there are most championship sides decide to have all 10 men in the box. We've spoken about it a number of times over the course of the season. I feel that there are too many bodies in there and there is too many people who pass things on, which is pretty much what we saw at the weekend with the winner for West Bromwich Albion. The interesting thing was the rest of the game we were absolutely fantastic at defending set pieces. It was hands down West Bromwich Albion's worst corner, worst delivery into the box. It was the worst piece of movement, and of course somehow it ends up in the back of the net. But as you rightly say, Mark, it's not the first time. It won't be the last time that we're discussing Sheffield Wednesday conceding from set pieces. It's a problem, but it's going to remain a problem. It's not something that's clearly easily fixable.
Cheers for that, Matt. Other social takes. So Nathan says, for however good Danny Roll is as a manager, he is absolutely terrible. And organising the team to defend a set piece, conceding from set pieces over and over again, nothing changes. We did well to get back in it after playing so poorly, especially in the first half. Then we threw it all away. Tom, your views on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was one of the ones that was calling that set piece coach a messiah after I all forgot one goal. But yeah, it hasn't turned out like that. But I think mainly it's kind of a bit of individual responsibility. You see, Marvin Johnson kind of pointing at his man, not picking him up, crap corner, and then it goes in. And I think that at the end of the day, like Matt was saying, there's 10 people in the box, and you just got to win your individual battles in the 96th minute. I don't know if we can put it down to anything tactical, really.
Cheers for that, Finn. What's your take on what you've been watching this season?
It's even when we defend set pieces well, it still looks so nervy all the time. It is players just losing their man, and just it is individual mistakes pretty consistently. And I've never been a fan of that zonal marking and stuff. When players can just move about and you lose them at the front post like we saw at the weekend. But yeah, it's just a catalogue of errors every week, it seems.
Okay. Before we move off this game, we must give a shout out to both West Brom and Sheffield Wednesday fans for, of course, the tribute which was made in the first half to the young lad from Sheffield, who, of course, passed away in the last week or so, and obviously our Sheffield United fans wanted to pass on their thanks as well. Matt, where does that leave us then in terms of this busy week? In terms of has he got the team to make changes?
No, Mark, is the short answer to that. No, he hasn't, because obviously in the run-up to the West Bromwich Albion game, we heard that there was a rumour around a player being out. By Thursday, the deep recesses of Sheffield Wednesday fans had found out that it was Barry Bannon. It was either his knee or his foot. We now know that it's not his foot and it's probably his knee. Danny, after the game, was saying that he doesn't know how long it's going to be, whether it's going to be 7 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, no idea on time frame. So there's your most creative player from the side gone. And then, obviously, after 25 minutes on Saturday, Deschamps Bernard went down with a relatively innocuous... He shoulder barged a West Bromwich Albion player out the way, and as he turned, just went down and grabbed his knee. received treatment on the pitch, came on for, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes later and went down like he'd been absolutely shot. And Danny, again, after the game, said he thinks that's going to be a potentially long-term injury, which is, as the topic that we're coming on to discuss is rate our window. Well, we mentioned it last week surrounding signings of centre-backs. In terms of what he's going to do over the course of this week with the 3-game week, Danny has traditionally rotated quite heavily for those 3-game weeks. Now I don't see where in defence there is the opportunity to do so. And in the middle of the park, we were told with Stuart Armstrong when he came in that by Southampton fans that he would struggle to play 3 games in a week. He's going to have to now. So it's just behind the 8 ball. I think the rotational options are in maybe the forward line, which is good because it has served us best. But somebody is going to have to start developing a central defensive partnership and a new one. And I think that will be our 5th iteration of sort of like that defensive line. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting over the next couple of games, really.
Yeah. Swansea away, Tom, and your old friends Coventry are back in town this weekend. You sick of seeing them?
Yeah, I think it's Frank Lampard's Coventry now. I think you got to say the full name. But I'm sick of seeing them. But I think, as Matt mentioned, Dijon Bernard going down is just massive. The fact that we didn't sign a centre back, we probably need 2 now, which is kind of. But we signed a winger, a left back, and a central midfielder. So yeah, for Swansea, I think we can get the win. But looking on from that, without a proper centre back pairing, I don't see us really doing much towards the end of the season.
Okay, let's talk about that transfer window then, shall we? Some social media takes on it. First, you've took the wind out of ourselves with this one, but Nick says very poor. We are short at centre back, and we're basically relying on Icky and Bernard. Well, not anymore. Roll will be gutted as we had a chance, albeit slim, but that's gone for me now. Striker would have been nice, but not essential. We will fall short now for cert. Darren says, what happened to all these links that Roll had in Germany? It seems he doesn't have the pulling power we thought we have. Or is it Shanziri who won't fully back him? Questions need to be asked. Right, Finn, lots to digest there. What's your take on what happened at 11 o'clock last Monday night?
I think we all knew we needed a centre-back, or maybe even 2. And obviously, coming out with none, it's a failure of a window for me. The Armstrong signing seems very important now. I was a big fan of the signing when it happened, but now if Barry is out and we don't know how long he's going to be out for, it's a big signing to step into that midfield. And Sissoko seems weeks away from fitness if you listen to Danny and all that stuff. We've talked about him, but defence is such an issue now. We've got young Gabriel Otegbeyo, who I don't know is ready to start consistently in the Championship, and Max Lowe can maybe fill in there. It's beyond ideal.
Who's to blame here, Matt? In terms of percentage-wise, Shanziri, Southampton, Danny.
Southampton. That's great. Yeah, let's put it all on Southampton, Mark. Yeah, I'm with you. I'll be honest, ultimately, the book stops with the owner of the football club. He's the person in charge of the purse strings. He's the person who is supposed to be a leader, not just a custodian of this football club. Ultimately, it's up to him to get the best out of the people who he employs at the club. But I don't think Danny is blameless in all of this. He's a fantastic manager. He's been great, but there was clearly an issue between him and the chairman. Everybody knows that our chairman has a massive ego, absolutely monstrous ego. We basically wasted the first 2 weeks of the window while those two had a bit of an argument about was he allowed to go to Southampton? Wasn't he? I haven't spoken to a recruitment team. It was just a mess, really. And then we were behind the 8 ball. I think at the start of the window, we ideally outlined a couple of centre halves, I think, on this pod, Mark. Yeah. Ronnie Edwards was linked with us. Obviously, lo and behold, he goes straight to QPR right at the beginning of the window. Nobody's honestly telling me that Ronnie Edwards couldn't have come to Sheffield Wednesday had we made a play for him. I think ultimately from my own perspective, I've made my feelings perfectly clear on the ownership at Sheffield Wednesday. My personal belief is it obviously rests firmly with him. There were players who moved from Championship club to Championship club for fees. This window can be done, not exorbitant amount of fees. I'm thinking with Coventry coming to town on Saturday, Matt Grimes is a prime example. We don't have any money. We're skidding. We have been for a number of years. It's just a case of I think the timing of the Southampton link didn't help, but it's on everybody who's there. But again, I think the blame needs to lay with the owner because ultimately it's his ship.
Rumours, Tom, not sure how true they are, but it's reported that Talal Al-Hamid was interested in buying the club. Of course, he was once the owner of Wigan. Didn't do too good a job there. So why is it you track the people that should be anywhere near football clubs?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard kind of mixed reports on what went on at Wigan, whether it was mainly him involved or not. But I mean, it's not great to be kind of associated with that. When we were linked with a new owner, like I jokingly said it was going to be the Reading owner, and we've potentially won up to that. So I mean, it's just typical, isn't it? But yeah, we'll see. I think it's mainly just even if we don't want him, just getting people talking about buying the club might persuade someone to come in. So yeah, let's just hope it's not him.
Okay. Finally, finalists, we'll end with some optimism, I think, if that's okay. Mark the Pittsburgh Owl says it's 100% our defence what has and what will continue to let us down until it's sorted. But we've got 15 big games left. We can do this, Owls. Let's be honest. We was very unlucky today, but we have to sort it out, especially on set pieces. So a bit of positivity there, Finn. Are you glass half empty or glass half full for the rest of the season?
I'm usually glass half full, but if Bernard's injury is as bad as some fear with like ACLs being talked about and stuff, I think it could really set us back because he's so important. And if we do have to play an Otigbe who's maybe not ready or Max Lowe's not a natural centre back, I think that's not enough to push into playoffs for me.
Okay. There is a new song out though. Oh, I say a new song. It's an old, a new lyrics to an old song. I'm just finding the slide where it is. I think I've got it. There we are. There we go. Yes. Jada, who's probably missing. You get etc. etc. Well done, Alfie Rice, for putting this together. It finally got sung, I believe, on the terraces at the weekend. Right then, folks, let's talk about the worst ever Sheffield Wednesday 11 then, because that's what we've been doing in the last couple of weeks. Before we get into this, do drop us a like. It's Valentine's Day on Friday, so let us know. Let us know how much you love how terrible this is by pressing a like on here. This is a relegation side, Matt, isn't it? This is going straight down to the National League, isn't it?
I was looking, honestly, Mark, I was looking at that players and I was thinking, obviously, in the context of Sheffield Wednesday, that is bad. And then I looked down the list and I was like, Herbie Emmanuelson, AC Milan, Alman Abdi, the professor at Watford, Jordan Rhodes, EFL top goal scorer, Izzy Brown, like Jay. I was looking at it and going, it's not actually that, but Francis Jeffers, wonder kid, they were so terrible for us.
Sheffield Wednesday, where a good career comes to die. Absolutely, yeah. We need a captain, though, Tom, if that's okay. Who's the worst of the worst? I know you probably haven't seen all of these in action in your young lifetime, but who for you stands out? Who's the one player there you would never pay money again to see in a Wednesday shirt out of all the rest of them?
I mean, it probably is Alman Abdi, because I don't know if I ever did see him, so I don't know if he but there's a few bottle jobs in there that could maybe get it as well, just for mentality wise.
Right, okay. Finn, for you, I know you've not had any part of this, Finn, but any on there that stand out as me?
Some of the names on these lists I completely forgot about. Ash Baker, my God.
Ash Baker. He was my shout. I think he went National League next season. It was shocking.
Championship football to National League always does show it.
Okay.
I think I'd go Izzy Brown, to be honest. I'm not, God, he's really awful.
Okay, let us know in the comments, please, who you would put as captain. And we need a manager, please. The worst ever Sheffield United manager that you would ever seen. Matt, kick this one off.
Sheffield United, Chris Wilder. Sheffield Wednesday is Cisco Munoz.
Sorry, Sheffield Wednesday, beg your pardon. Yeah. Tom?
Yeah, if Cisco's gone, then Joss. I don't know if you saw the another Wednesday podcast with Sam Hutchinson where he was saying that Josh thought there was relegation playoffs and that we needed to win the game, so we didn't get in the relegation playoffs. I mean, shocking.
Ben, who's the worst ever manager you've seen for Sheffield Wednesday?
Cisco would have been my choice, but I'll go with someone different. I'll throw in Gary Monk, because if you hear what's going on behind the scenes from certain sources during those days, it's laughable. It's a mess.
Okay. All right. Good shouts all round. And to finish off then this week, we are, of course, heading towards Valentine's Day. So we want to find out about these guys, their love for Sheffield Wednesday. How did it start? Who's responsible? What was the first game? Matt, can you kick this off?
The reason why I am a Sheffield Wednesday fan is obviously I'm not native to Sheffield, is my dad. My dad's native to Sheffield. I got left with this burden as a 4 and 5 year old, and sadly now end up following this stupid club up and down the country. The player that made me fall in love with Sheffield Wednesday was Chris Waddle. Apologies, gentlemen, because I know that I am, like slightly older. I'm going to say slightly older, not much older than the Bavaria. I had a Chris Waddle the French way on VHS, which you can now watch on YouTube. And oh my word, Mark, I used to practice stepovers in the street for hours on end trying to get him to do it. And my first ever game was a Steel City derby, 3-1 Sheffield Wednesday win.
Wow. Not bad for your first game.
No, it's all been downhill since.
Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I was born in Sheffield before I moved away a little bit, but yeah, my family pretty much supported Wednesday as well. I'm not sure about first kind of memories. Marcus took a goal against Sheffield United, I think, and then probably Leon Clark breaking his toe as well. I remember that as a kid. That was, yeah. I mean, apart from probably the playoff season with the Windass winner, I don't think I've maybe seen many good days supporting Wednesday, to be honest.
Okay. All to come, Tom. All to come.
Yeah.
Finn, are you blue and white through and through?
Yeah, just family roots, and probably just a similar story to most Wednesday fans. Just dad took me to the game. I believe my first game was, I think I'm younger than both of you lads, so I think my first game was the first game of the 15-16 season when I was 8 or 9. I think it was a 2-0 win over Bristol. That is a complete guess, though. That is guesswork. But I think it was a 2-0 win over Bristol.
All right.
But yeah, he's left me with a complete burden with this club. Sometimes honestly, it ruins my weekends.
Really nice, Finn, isn't it, when your father just leaves you with an absolute burden of sin? Because I've done exactly the same to my lad as well.
I was going to say, you're going to be doing it to your child, aren't you, Matt? So,
yeah, I already have done, mate.
Yeah, well, there you go. Right. Yeah, you can't ever divorce you. You can divorce your girlfriend and your wife, but you can't divorce your football club, can you? As bad as it's been. Right. Share your love in the comments below for Sheffield Wednesday, and we'll see you, of course, next week when we have to talk about Coventry again for the final time, hopefully this season. See you then.